Well, we're back with the 93 Econoline, and last time we got everything tore apart on the old intake throttle body here, and got our new throttle position sensor put in. So now it's time to put it back together, see if it runs. Again, this is not a tutorial. In fact, I still have a bolt in there that I haven't dug out from last time that fell down in the engine bay. So that's going to be the first order of business. Get that out. It's going to be fun. And then put it all back together and hope that it runs better than it did before. And if it doesn't, wouldn't be the first time. Alright, so what does this go to? That bolt from back in there fell down and then down further, and then I can't see. It didn't land on the ground. I checked the ground at least, but it couldn't have gone too far. See if we can see it from up here. No. Did it land on the frame? We're gonna have to go underneath. Maybe we can shake it out. I don't know if it's disappeared or I just have so much rust in my eyes. I don't see it anywhere. I'll have to get the old fish finder out, which is just the camera on the phone, but we're looking for one of these guys. There's only so many places it could have gone. Somehow I knew this was going to be the hardest part of the job. I can't find it anywhere. I mean, it is long gone. It is long gone. So, I mean, it couldn't have gone far. It went from there down. And it's not on the frame rail. It's not on the cross member. Can you do it with just 3? No. For God's sake. Well, I got it. I lost my little flexible screwdriver down there, but it wasn't that good anyway. Alright. So let's see if we can get some light in there. And let's go ahead and clean this off. So we got a nice clean spot to put our throttle body back on. Yeah. I love the, 80s, 90s emissions, which the thought process was, take all the nasty crap that the engine makes, rather than make the engine cleaner. Just shoot it back in and try to burn it again. And hopefully that'll work. And I mean, it does, but I mean, you get this. And you have to run a coolant line to your throttle body because you're shooting exhaust back into your intake. It's pretty ridiculous, but I mean, there's no gouges, scratches. Let's see if we can get this a little bit more clean over here. Just to make sure I don't slip and slide and mess my gasket up. I've been known to do that. And, if you get really up close and personal on this whole intake here, I don't know if you can see in there. Look how carboned up that is. That is just terrible. That's terrible. And I could clean that up, but it's just going to be like that all the way in there anyway. I mean, I think there might even be a pool of oil sitting in there. So, I mean, again, we're talking about a $3,000 van. I'm not going to pull this out, but I think that's clean enough. We can get our throttle body put back on. Let's try it. Yep, god dang it. I put this on backwards. These wires are supposed to come out this way. So, I hope twisting it too far in the other direction doesn't break it, but that probably did. Let's test this guy here. Is it these wires? Yeah, okay. So that's too close. I'm on the 20,000 ohms reading, so we got 1,100 ohms, if I'm reading that correctly. And as we go, we get a smooth transition up to 4,500 ohms. So I think this is still okay. I don't know what these readings are supposed to be. The way you're supposed to actually test this is you're supposed to hook 5 volts up. You're supposed to test it while it's on the vehicle. But I don't have a 5 volt source, and we're just going to say, I mean, the fact that it's still got a smooth, gradient tells me that, we're going to be probably okay. So I think we'll hook it up and see how it goes. So we're torqued down here, and I did not go crazy. I mean, this is aluminum, so it's tight. It's not going to fall off. I hooked up the IAC already, idle air control. Pop that bad boy in there. So we had a coolant hose. We had 2 coolant hoses. Where are those at? Obscured. Okay, so let's slide that on there. Yeah. Oh, but then we have one up top too. Where did that hose go? It's luckily right by. Look at this. Did they do this? Did Ford do this? Run it up over? Give me a break, man. Just cut me some slack, Jack. Hold on, I gotta sit you down for a second. They ran this up and over around all of these cables and wires and all that mumbo jumbo. Let's get this on. Get on there. There we go. And then let's just, with a little less sass, put that on there. So then we've got this plate that needs to go back on somehow. I don't remember. How did that work? It was screwed onto this bolt here. Like this. And what is... Oh, this is that vacuum hose that needs to go on here. So let's plug that in. Yeah. I can't really hold the camera and do this, but I'm gonna, hook that back up again right there, and hook that up, and I'm just gonna go to town on it. Hold on. I think we're getting pretty darn close. So we hooked the IAC back up. We hooked this. Is this a manifold vacuum sensor? No idea. And let's see. We hooked the TPS up. That's down, tucked way in there where you can't see it. Upper coolant hose, lower coolant hose. Clamps are tightened. We need to put our cables back on. So here's our TV cable. Snapped on there. I'm going to regret putting these on, I'm sure, because it'll be... Alright, so then just snap that on. Throttle's hooked back up. TV's hooked back up. Cruise control's hooked up. How far down are we on coolant? How much did we lose? Whoa! Hold on. Okay. We still got heater hoses hanging off. Gosh dang it. Well, at least that cap seal's good. What else is there? This goes back up out of the way here. Like something like that. Or is it here? Yeah, it's here. Get it. Yeah. Yeah. I love working on this stuff. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Check the parts pile. just that, the old gasket, the old throttle position sensor. Yeah, no, I think we are. I think we're ready. We'll hook those hoses up, top it off with coolant, hook the battery back up, and see what we got. You got to see this. So the the coolant T broke off. So I gotta go get a new one of these now, because it just broke. It's in there. It's right there. Sweet. And just in time, Windows 10 is doing updates. So I guess I'll just look it up on my phone. Alright, so here we go. This should be what we need. 3/4 inch hose tee. It's either 3/4 or 5/8. I need to check that hose and find out for sure, but they should, according to my local AutoZone, have both in stock. So let's hope so. Alright, 1 hour later I got a new T connector, so we'll unhook all these hoses here, pry that little piece out of here, and see if we can get this hooked back up. Alright, everybody here is hooked back up nice and tight. I don't know, these hoses were just a little tiny bit too short, and this is one that's like fitted in. It's got, I don't know, it goes into the heater core. It's got one of those pressed fittings on the end. That looks fun to replace, so hopefully it doesn't leak. I can always make this one here a little longer if I need to. Alright, so let's pop this open and see if anything leaks. That's a good sign. Ah! I don't see anything dripping, do you? We won't really know till we fire this bad boy up, so we'll see. We'll see. But I think that's what we're ready to do. We gotta unhook our check engine code reader here, and we need to hook our battery back up, and then I think we're ready to give her a crank. Let's crank this up and give it a shot. Where's the keys? And if all goes wrong, there's a fire extinguisher right here behind the camera. Well, that's good for now, because I can already tell it's running better than it was, because it doesn't already stink to high heaven here. Let's give the fumes a good sniff over here. I take that back. She still smells a little bit rich. So let's see if we can get everything put back together, check drive it for a while, check the codes, check for leaks, and see what happens. I almost forgot. I need to put this back in. Took this out because I didn't have any wiper fluid. With the salty Kansas roads, it was a big causing a problem. And then I put it in, it all leaked out. So I just slathered some JB Weld on there generously, and I'm gonna see if this holds fluid. So let's test that out real quick. Oh man. Okay, wait. That's supposed to leak, because that's the pump. Other than that, seems like it's holding tight. You know, I think only the smart drops are gonna get out. Okay, just to help things out here, we're gonna dump a whole can of this into the gas tank. This thing has like a 32-gallon tank. This will treat up to 21 gallons. So I'm gonna dump this in. We'll do a little test drive around a little bit. If it doesn't catch on fire or break down, then we'll go fill the tank, top it off, and then I got another can to throw in on top of this one. So let's just fill her up. Just like that. Best $3 I ever spent. It smells like carb cleaner. Okay, so everything's hooked back up that I can remember, so let's fire it up again. We'll back it out and we'll let it warm up a little bit. Check for some leaks, even though you can't see anything with all the air cleaner junk back connected. But we'll check for leaks and then maybe go on a short test drive. So let's give it a shot. Well, we already got something leaking, don't we? That looks like coolant. Maybe it's just coolant that was sitting somewhere from when we filled her up. That idle doesn't sound very smooth to me. Well, let's grab a light here. Where's our light? Where do we put the light? Where's the light? Oh, for crying out loud. Pockets? No. For goodness sake, there it is. I mean, it's still running. That's something. Let's see, is that leak getting any bigger? I don't think it's getting any bigger. Let's look up here. See anything in the dark. She just doesn't like what's going on here. Let's check the tailpipe. We got some condensation. Let's give her some gusto. Now, we don't have a check engine light, so there's that. But let's just give her some guts. I mean, she doesn't hesitate or stumble. All right, let's go to the floor. I wish I could see if we were belching black smoke out there, but I'm gonna say let's go for a little scooch around the town and see how it does. All right, let's go hit the town in this bad boy. And then most importantly, come back and park in a different spot. The kids have put up all of the... Let's close the garage there. The different shades, so I can't see hardly anything behind me. Not like you could before, anyway. It's idling, sort of. Part throttle's pretty good. I'm wondering if that throttle position sensor wasn't the problem, but just from running rich for so long. I bet all those cylinders are gunked up, and I mean, just looking at the amount of crap that was in that intake, it's hard telling. And the fact that they pulled the check engine light out of it, to me says that that throttle position sensor went bad a long time ago, and instead of fixing it, which, having done it, can't say I blame them, they decided just to keep driving it. I can't imagine. This thing was getting terrible gas mileage, though, when the last tank or so that I drove it before I parked it so that I could fix it. And I can't imagine driving this thing. It was getting like maybe 10 miles per gallon. And my 79 Caprice, that thing's got a pretty hot 350 in it, and it'll get 13 out on the highway. And this was not doing that. So drivability wise, I mean, so far so good. And you know, part of the thing, besides just the terrible rough idle, you know, you'd give it the gas and it would hesitate a little bit. All of that is gone. Off idle throttle response is really good. Now that may have been as much cleaning that idle air control valve as it was the throttle position sensor, but I think that was definitely bad because we had a code that was out of range. We also had a code for a 5-volt reference signal out of range, but that may have been just because the car wasn't running and the alternator wasn't turning. So I need to look up those codes a little bit more. I'd like to get a service manual for this thing so that, you know, some of those codes are going to be pretty standard for, you know, when your computer is on and running but the engine's not turning. There's going to be a certain number of things that it expects to see that it just doesn't see because the engine's not running. But the good news is when we turn the key on, we do get the check engine light, test light, that comes on just fine. And yeah, so I'm going to drive this thing around a little bit more. Let's give her some gas here. Woo. She's gutless, but she's got some gusto. But yeah, I'm going to drive it around a little bit more just here around town. The heat still works. That's good. And we'll see. Oh, train coming. It may just be the old butt dyno, but I feel like it's shifting better too. And I didn't do anything for that except, you know, just yank on the TV cable quite a bit. We have developed a little belt squeal on this test drive though, so I'm gonna guess we're probably still leaking a little bit and those belts are getting wet, but let's give it a good just run here and see how she shifts. Yeah, that goes into overdrive a lot better than it did before. A lot better. I can't explain that one. Other than, you know, it's just the transmission about to go out all on its own. Well, as I drove it, the belt squeal went away. But, let's see here. Well, is that from just now? I don't know. I don't think it was leaking too bad. The belt squeal went away. And yeah, she drove about as good as it ever has before. But if you look down here, kind of hard to see, she's still running pretty rich. Not sure if we're still spitting gas out, but she still smells pretty rich. So hopefully maybe that Behrman's, we'll get that all cleaned up. I'm just gonna keep driving it for now. We'll see how she goes. Any more drips down there? I'm pretty sure that's a leak from one of my other cars. One thing I want to test though, see if it works. Maybe got to work some fluid up through the... Come on. Oh, look at that. Well, we fixed possibly nothing. But we had fun doing it. So it's all back together. We're going to drive it. We're going to see how she goes. We're going to keep her pretty close to home for here for a little bit. Curious about that transmission thing. Maybe just yanking on that TV cable knocked something loose in there, and now it's jammed where it really shouldn't be. So yeah, thanks so much for watching and you know, fixing on this thing. And I'll try to fix just about anything. Usually it ends up like this where we don't know if we accomplished anything or not. So but you will if you subscribe, because the van will be on here, and if it breaks down, we're gonna fix it again, maybe. So thanks. If you like the video, like the video. If you don't like the video, you know what to do. Hurts my feelings, but you can do it anyway. And thanks for watching. Oh, wait a minute, look at this. Yes, we did it. I just didn't have enough fluid in there. I just put enough in to test the leak, but I must not have had enough to get it up to the pump level. So, look at that. A little bit, a lot of it. Ah, that's beautiful, beautiful. There you go. So, one thing to check if your windshield wiper fluid or squirters aren't working is put some windshield wiper fluid squirter juice in there and see if it see if it helps. Oh wait, here, we unhooked this because we had that hood open for a while. There we go. That's important.